think we can all agree that the demolition and construction industry is not without its problems. Even the eternal optimist wearing rose tinted spectacles can see that all is not well within this sector and its massed ranks. And yet, rather than seeking solutions, we've apparently taken a different approach, hiding behind lazy, unproven tropes and excuses and assumptions. We tell ourselves, for example, that young people have no interest in working within this sector. We label them lazy, feckless, and interested only in jobs that take place in front of a computer screen. The truth is that the industry has done a truly terrible job of reaching out to the very young people it so desperately needs. It's done precious little to explain that not all demolition and construction jobs are fraught with danger, or that a significant amount of work takes place away from the muck and bullets of an actual site. We've failed to convince them that this is a viable career choice. But instead of fessing up, it's much easier to blame the youth for our own internal shortcomings. We all see the headlines: migrant workers coming over here, stealing our jobs. We don't look any further. Even in full rage bait mode, the Daily Mail has never ever reported on a migrant worker actually stealing a job, because that's not how employment works. A company has a vacancy, they advertise that position, and they appoint the person they consider best suited to the role, regardless of whether that person is black, brown, white, Christian, Jew, or Muslim. There's no theft. But accusing migrant workers of job theft is much more comfortable than admitting our own failure to attract and retain native born workers, or to accept that working within the sector is often a soul destroying, thankless, and toxic task. By and large, women want to work in this sector even less than young people. We tell ourselves that the work is too physical for them, or bizarrely, that they're put off by PPE that doesn't accommodate their feminine form. We tell ourselves this because it's far easier than addressing the misogyny that persists on many sites and in many offices, or admitting that we've failed to address the countless instances of sexual harassment. Once again, we take the easy way out and hide behind a familiar trope. We have risk assessments, toolbox talks, pre-start briefings, training matrices and competence cards. We've appointed health and safety managers and health and safety advocates. Yet construction remains the deadliest industry sector in the UK. Why? Because none of these systems and protocols actually move the safety needle. We tell ourselves otherwise, of course. We tell ourselves that we're doing our best to protect our workers without actually changing the structural things that place them in danger. As an industry, we find ourselves in the midst of a mental health crisis. Our sector has a suicide rate that is shockingly high. We could take a holistic look at our working practices and make our industry less of a pressure cooker. But we don't. We prefer to hide behind mental health awareness courses and mental health first aiders. Worse still, we do our best to separate suicide from the sector. Oh, just because he killed himself on site doesn't mean it was actually industry related. Yeah, I'm sure a suicide rate that's almost 4 times the national average really is nothing more than a massive coincidence. When the spotlight falls upon corruption, we tell ourselves it's just a few bad apples or a few brown envelopes stuffed with cash. But collusion, like the tango, takes two. Do those who dabble in bid rigging have some sixth sense with which they can identify potential co-conspirators? Or is collusion really so commonplace that they feel empowered to tap up anyone and everyone? Even in our interactions with equipment, we accept false wisdom. Brand A machines are unreliable. Brand B is underpowered. Brand C is uncomfortable. Really? All of them? If an equipment manufacturer has built a customer base, a global customer base, and turns over billions each year, have they managed that, really, with unreliable, underpowered, and uncomfortable machines? That would be miraculous. The truth is that someone may have had a bad experience with a machine, a dealer, or a manufacturer in the dim and distant past. And here we are, years or even decades later, still believing every machine to roll off that company's production line is a pup. Even more bizarrely, we dismiss new innovations without seeing them in action. We tell ourselves that will never work or that won't catch on. A single glance at a YouTube video, and we've already decided there's no operator, application, or owner who might ever need such a thing. Trust me, if a manufacturer has invested the time and the capital to bring something new to market, they've done their homework. Their new product might not be for you, but it will be for someone. In so many instances, we're lying to ourselves because the truth is too uncomfortable, too unpalatable. The solutions are too challenging. But maybe if we were honest, we might find that the industry's biggest problems are not the muck and bullets, they're the smoke and mirrors.